Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their company. I'm your host, Jae Encarnacion, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future. Today, we're thrilled to have Leahanne Hobson, the founder and CEO of Alinea Partners. Leahanne brings a wealth of expertise in IT consulting and channel development with over 2 decades leading Alinea Partners, a Vienna-based global consultancy founded in 2005. Her firm empowers major clients like Microsoft, IBM, and Dell to optimize sales journeys and drive business out, recently making waves by training 6,000 co-pilot end users. Beyond her professional achievements, Leanne's commitment to social causes like sponsoring art contests for disabled children reflects her inspiring leadership. We'll be exploring her founding story, how Alinea Partners transforms the IT industry, and her vision for scaling this impact-driven. So with that being said, let's dive right in. Leahanne, welcome to Founders Future.
Thank you very much. Very nice to be here, Jay.
An absolute pleasure having you on. Such an incredible background. So really would love to start at the top for our listeners. Leahanne, take us back to the beginning, if you can. What specific problem in the IT consulting or channel development landscape really inspired you to start Alinea Partners in 2000?
Well, I had been in high tech and telecommunications for quite a few years, and the big problem was actually not a business problem, it was a personal problem. And a lot of founders will probably resonate with this. I spent quite a lot of time at that time on planes, traveling around the world, attending different corporate meetings. And my personal challenge was I wanted to stop doing that.
Right.
So I stepped out and I decided I would start Alinea Partners, something completely different from what I had been doing, working for corporates. And I would do it in a way that was different from other consultants in the market. What I saw from other consultants is there was a lot of talking that was taking place, which was great for networking, but the deliverables were not clear up front and they weren't clear after. And I saw this very clearly when I started to scale my business and I took on some senior people who just had different philosophies around what consulting and the services-based industry meant. And so how I solved for that was I quickly, within the first few years, productized our services. So instead of saying we do consulting, even though it is in the name, we have created packages of services that have very clear descriptions, expectations, timing, pricing, et cetera, so that our clients know right up front what they're going to get, how much it's going to cost, and what the expected deliverable should be. And I know exactly what my costs are going to be, what my team needs to do, how I can project manage that, and what we should be delivering.
Amazing. So with that, I definitely would love to dive into that right there, right? Especially for our listeners who could be tuning in and after this episode airs would want to come and work with you, especially with how much experience you have, Leahanne. So really walk us through that, how you're generating the revenue, especially with that productized side of things. So what is that core offer? How is it all structured? What's the breakdown of that offer for your clients, and who is your ideal client that you like to work with most?
Yeah, so it's changed over the years, and things, because we focus very much on enablement and readiness, which is before all the demand generation work that's done. So we really focus on, is your customer data in order, and are you getting insights out of it? Are you applying that to your product portfolio? Does your product portfolio have a logical upsell? Is there packaging and bundling? And then can you train your sales team to sell that? And in our case, we work with high tech companies. So can they sell that without talking right up front about the technology? Can they talk rather about business outcomes? So one of the first programs we launched it evolved in various phases over time, but it has multiple names depending on which clients we're delivering it for, but it is a secret shopper program. And it is the only one of its kind in the B2B world in high tech. And basically what we do is take on a persona of a net new buyer, not an existing customer. We agree on that with the client. And we have a scientific methodology that we've worked through and then added to every year. Covers over 190 different elements of the buying process right now. Sometimes it's called a buying journey or secret shopping or mystery shopping. And we go through that process in multiple languages, and we identify where are the strengths of that particular buying process, where are the weaknesses and what are the recommendations to fix it, and then what's the benchmark. So where are they on average with their competitor? And this has really become over time our R&D unit, because we see within our industry, we've shopped over 800 different companies. And so we have a very good idea about what is the basic level of sales readiness and customer experience our industry is offering and who's excelling. And then also we help a lot of companies improve that process along the way. So that was really the first, let's say, the cornerstone offer that we really productized. And we continue to do that. All of the different areas I talked about in readiness and enablement, we put together content and workshop series or 3-month consulting gigs, depending on what needs to take place and what kind of transformation our customers are looking to take. And our ideal customers, to answer the last question, we really work across the high-tech ecosystem. So we work with big IT vendors like Microsoft, and then we work with telecommunications companies, Vodafone, O2, Telefonica. We work with distributors, so Ingram Micro and Tech Data Synex. And then we work with managed service providers and cloud service providers of all kinds of different shapes and sizes around the world. And we work with system integrators and marketplaces.
Amazing. So, I mean, this is really a system that, you got in, you had to really understand before you can hop into it. And once you did, I mean, now you really, where you're providing the quality for your clients, which is why you're able to have all these partnerships and push forward what you're doing. I mean, that secret shopper program is incredible, right? Because you're really getting into the nitty gritty to understand what's going right, what's going wrong, and what you can implement to help your clients move forward. So, I mean, amazing on that front. So, I mean, walk us through. You've been in the space for quite some time now, Leahanne. What's working best for you today as far as the acquisition side of things goes for the business? So whether it's the referrals from all your past successes, or if you're running ads successfully, if you're doing social media, what does that look like on the acquisition side to get consistent leads coming in for yourself?
Yeah, sure. Well, first, I'm pretty razor sharp and clear on what type of business we want to be. And even today, after 20 years of doing this, I still have conversations with my team, maybe even sometimes when I have not an exact fit with the business and who we bring in, but I'm not after world dominance. So all you demand generation people who contact me every day on LinkedIn, you're wasting your time. Yeah. I run a lifestyle business. It's boutique, and we work with clients we like, and we do projects that we like. So most of our business comes from referral, and that's built up over time. I, of course, knew a lot of people because I was in high tech and telco before, but it isn't as though I brought a lot of clients to the business at the very beginning. I had to earn it because I was suddenly not branded as IBM or Lucent Technologies. I was branded as Alinea Partners, and nobody knew who we were. So we had to start over with that. So knowing that we're a lifestyle business or a boutique business means we want interesting projects. So we want to be the company that people call when they say, listen, we're doing something new, like AI, or we've had this challenge and we haven't been able to reach our set goals. Those are the best situations that we can be brought in on. And in doing that, it allows us to really stay a little bit beneath the radar of all of these other agencies that are out there doing quite a bit of demand generation types of work. So there are definitely companies that do what we do, but the ocean isn't as big, let's say. And so we get referrals. We do podcasts. So that's why we're talking today. I'm impressed to be one of your 800, I think you said.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
That's pretty impressive.
Thank you.
And we also do a lot on LinkedIn. We made a decision a number of years ago to back off of all the different social channels we were involved in, trying to be everywhere, because we were doing a disservice to ourselves. We were just being there a little bit on each of the different channels. And so what we did is we took a step back, made a decision about which one we wanted to go all in on, and that's LinkedIn. And so, we use it. I get new business from it. I get existing customers who I'm on their radar screen because we're using LinkedIn. And it works really well for us, even though we have very senior people in the network, and a lot of them don't comment and they don't like, but they watch.
So, I would love to get a bit more of an understanding from you, Leahanne, especially after, again, having 20 years of experience in the space. Walk us through a bit more of kind of that scaling piece. As you mentioned, you're consider yourself as that boutique lifestyle business. Is there a certain threshold that you're at that you're just comfortable with, or are you still looking to scale, but just to a certain point, which is why it sounds like you're not running ads and you're really focusing more on that referral side? Where's your mind right now for the scale of Alinea Partners?
Yeah, our scale comes into being able to deliver around the world. And the pandemic actually supported our chosen business model. We certainly have traveled in the past all over the world and continue to do that, but not to the extent that it was before. So we've also really looked at all of our programs and made sure that they can be equally effective virtually. So that's something that was particularly important. In addition, we look for people, our associates or our senior associates, that have technology, channel, so understanding of distribution channels, sales experience, and also consulting experience, plus languages. Because when we secret shop, we quite often do that in multiple languages. So whether we're doing that in Indonesian or in French or in one of the Nordic countries or in Polish, we need to be able to have somebody who is available, who can step in, understands the program. We've kept in touch with them. We've trained them. They know how it works. And so the startup time is short and they can just jump in and do it.
Beautiful. So really just kind of sticking on that line of where you are now, not looking to really expand so much more, but just continue to provide quality to the clients that you have in front of you on that side. So, with that sales process, as you were just explaining, what does that look like for the team that you have behind you to be able to deliver and fulfill, again, internationally, work all over the country? What does that look like? Do you have that sales team, marketing team? Walk us through with that process.
Yeah, so Alinea Partners is also different from that perspective. We're a fluid organization or a liquid organization. If anyone has followed the trend over the years, it's had different names, but it means we're project-based. So since we productized our services and we run a service catalog, we can then allocate resources against projects or service delivery. Therefore, I have a team of people who are entrepreneurial. So they may work 100% of their time for us, or they may work 10% of their time, depending on our capacity for work and their availability and their interest level. So sometimes we get a project and I have a perfect match, but somebody says, I just don't want to do that type of project. I'm, pretty busy right now. It'd be a stretch. I'm going to pass on this one. And then we go to, to the next person in the team. But all the people that are working for us are either senior associate level, meaning they have as much or almost as much experience as I do, or they're associate level, which means that they are doing back office support for us, finance, website, demand gen, to the extent that we do it with LinkedIn and others, or research. So we have quite a big pool of researchers.
Beautiful. So, really just have a system in place to be able to provide that for your clients, which is incredible there. So, I mean, what does the future look like here for you, right? What's the focus for the next 6 to 12 months, especially with your approach, and whether that's expanding your AI training programs like Copilot or reaching new markets? What are the specific goals that you're going to be working on for the rest of 2025 going into 2020?
Let me first answer it from a business perspective, and then I'll tell you what some of the unknown challenges can be, because I don't think they're unique to me. So what we're going to be focusing on is AI, cybersecurity, and compliancy. Those are our key sweet spots, and working with companies who need to deliver those types of solutions to their customers. And maybe they don't know how to sell it, or maybe they don't know how to package up that offer, or they might have pieces of it and they have to figure out how they're going to bring in the other pieces, either build or buy or partner. So those are the key areas. They're exciting technology areas. They're absolutely critical. And we have a bit of a different view in I believe, than many others that are out there about AI, compliancy, and also cybersecurity. What the future holds is, as always with consulting, there's a bit of an unknown. And what I hope will not happen is that we don't have another downturn, such as in 2009, or it hit us in 2009, with a lot of the things that are happening right now from a financial and a political perspective. There's a good chance that businesses will be conservative, that they will hunker down instead of expand, that they will rethink strategies around keeping people on their team or teams. And I sincerely hope that the market doesn't react that way, especially needlessly, because that could cause a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I'm always on the lookout for that type of thing. And, things that start to smell like bad economic situation. Let's put it that way.
I love it. I love it. So just continuing to position yourself in the space here. So, I mean, I did want to hear from you with how you look at the space and how successful you've been. What do you see, Leahanne, as a bottleneck that you're thinking about, something that you have to push through or working towards, whether that is consistent lead generation to be able to provide those projects consistently for your team, or converting those leads into clients, or delivering on the fulfillment side of things? What can you talk to on that side of the bottleneck that you're thinking about right now?
Well, this economic situation could potentially put many others in a situation where there isn't that funding coming from these companies, or they're laying off people and not expanding and putting that into programs, outsourcing programs. So that can always happen. In that case, I have obligations to my team that I definitely want to fulfill, that they, have enough work and enough things to keep them interested and motivated. If not, entrepreneurial people will move on to other things. So I'm conscious of that as well. And that's always a balancing act. We're always working on that. So there needs to be enough of a pipeline and enough ratio to close that we know we're going to be in good or better shape as this time next year. And I don't run a quarterly overview. A lot of companies within our industry do. They look every quarter at, whether they're performing or not, and done. I've looked at it longer term. Maybe it's more European, but really looking at, are we ahead of where we were last year at this time, and just trying to keep on top of that.
I love it. Well, with that right there, I do want to take us into the lightning round, Leahanne. I mean, it's been incredible being able to hear just the quality, the intelligence, the passion, the drive that you have. So truly an honor having you on the show today, Leahanne. For our listeners, for the lightning round side of things, what is a tool or a resource that you're using right now? Maybe it's an insight from your customer experience assessments, or a sales strategy, or an AI tool. Or what's really been a game changer for Alinea Partners this far?
I would say to LinkedIn, I already talked about. I love it, even though the algorithm frustrates me and everybody else who uses it. But it brings us business. And then the next is AI. We use Copilot. It's interesting. I have a lot of conversations with people about how to sell AI, how to sell Copilot. And, I come from a fundamentally different philosophy. We tell people not that they shouldn't be selling AI, especially not now. It's too new in the market. They should be teaching people how to use it. Because when you learn how to use it, when you're enabled, there isn't a day that goes by where I don't think at least 2 or 3 times that was worth the monthly charge for this software. It has become an executive assistant or an additional member of our team for brainstorming, before, during, after meeting setup, PowerPoint creation, research, Excel fundamentals, even some things that myself and some other members of the team couldn't do before or didn't know how to do before with Excel, we're now doing, and brainstorming. It's absolutely fantastic. We do proposals with it, obviously always checking the work,
Right.
but it's been a real game changer in giving people time. And that's probably one of the best ROIs that I can think of. So everyone feels that they're working more productively. They get help with additional ideas that they hadn't necessarily thought of, pushes them farther. So it's just an enhancer.
And then just to wrap us up here, Leahanne, what is a piece of advice that you can offer to our listeners tuning in right now, other founders, entrepreneurs, business owners? What's something that you can leave them with before we wrap up the show?
Focus on people power for yourself and for the people you interact with instead of position power.
Beautiful. Well, with that right there, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap up another inspiring episode of Founders Future. Leahanne, I just want to thank you again coming on this show. I mean, incredible to share your journey with us and your insights. And as I mentioned earlier, the passion, the drive, the intelligence that you have, it truly was an honor to have you on the show, and would really look forward to having you again in the future to get some good updates, see where things are. And I know we're going to hear some more success stories on that front. So again, thank you so much for having you on the show today. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed the episode, which I know so many of you have, don't forget to subscribe to Founders Future wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. You can also check out Alinea Partners at alinea-partners.com for their free customer experience report, and follow Leahanne on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/in/Leahanne Hobson Alinea Partners. For more resources and insights, you can visit us at closers.io, where we're dedicated to helping businesses accelerate their growth through trained appointment setters and world-class marketing systems. Until then, keep climbing, and we'll see you on the next one.